I'm here with Chuck Blasko, the owner of Nordic Waste here in the Twin Ports, and a guy who was instrumental in helping Amsoil develop this very valuable sales tool. I'm sure many of you are aware of it, the Refuse Hauler Fleet Field Study. Chuck, tell us a little bit about the operation, first of all.
Sure, thank you. Nordic Waste is a startup company within the last 5 years, and we started essentially with one truck, and we've worked our way up now to a 10-truck fleet. And we service the Twin Ports area, which is here in Duluth and Superior, Wisconsin.
So in comparison, this is a small fleet. I also understand, though, that you do have some experience with larger fleets prior to coming here.
Yes, I have. Our company is not what I would consider a large company, but my past experience is, up to over 100 trucks with a large firm.
An operation like this, what are the primary sticking points, if you will, the problems that you in a company like this would primarily want to have solved?
Well, with regard to operationally, it would be the serviceability of our customers. Having a small fleet doesn't allow us to have a lot of spare trucks, or our frontline trucks need to be in the field all the time, with the drivers, et cetera. So, I mean, we have to be out there on a constant basis to provide the service.
Well, Chuck, trucks like this are certainly, needless to say, in a severe service environment. And what are some of the problems that you endure and that you're hoping to help solve?
Well, most people may not know about Duluth, Minnesota, but it is obviously in northern Minnesota where you have a lot of severe cold weather, in addition to the snow. Accompanied with, ironically, warm and hot summers. Another thing about Duluth, which is probably a little bit unique for a Midwestern city, is there's a very acute and extreme hillsides. So the trucks are traveling up and down hills and then through alleys and things like that. So the terrain is actually fairly rigorous. So that's one thing that we have to deal with here.
And the product, of course, that you're using is our 15W40 diesel oil. It's I know you've done some testing with it. What was the company looking for when you developed the test and got going with that?
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing for us is to get started in the morning. Our trucks are outside, parked outside in a truck line, and the drivers come in at a very early hour, and they need to get the trucks and the dependability of the trucks on the road so they can provide the service. The one thing about the Amsoil products that we're using, particularly the oil, is that it allows the trucks to turn over much more efficiently, and obviously that allows the truck to start. So that's a very important thing to start our day. So,
let's talk a little bit about specifically how Amsoil products have helped this company's bottom line.
The things that I have seen is, first of all, the number of oil changes because of the increased hours. We went from roughly a 300 to a 1,000 hour interval between oil changes. We have fewer oil changes, so there's less labor. We have one mechanic because of our 10-truck operation, and he has more time to spend on other things because he has fewer oil changes. There's obviously the reduced expense in oil product because we're buying less oil. And then the benefits of the oil that we have found kind of historically is that when oil changes were missed or postponed and hours ran into maybe 300, 400, 500 hours with the organic oils, is that you would lose the viscosity in the oil and there would be more wear and tear on the engine. This oil product does not break down after 1,000 hours. So if we're late by 100 hours or 200 hours, it does not have the same wear and tear on the engine that the other product had.
And of course, these trucks are expensive, so I would imagine it's vitally important to have a premium product and they're protecting them longer as well.
Yes, it is. And in the length of our fleet that we've had, which is the 5 years, we have never had to replace an engine or even any other thing outside of just general repairs.
Well, Nordic Waste has obviously received numerous benefits from our engine oil, just based on the fact that you're extending your maintenance schedule and cutting down on downtime and things like that. But with a garbage truck like this, there are other applications, and specifically the hydraulic applications.
Yes, the hydraulic fluid is one that we use in some of our newer trucks. What happens in this severe weather that we have here in Duluth is that the other oils, the other original hydraulic fluid that came with the vehicle would cake up or turn into a butter-like product. It would not push through the system. Obviously, the pumps and whatnot don't get the fluid that it should when it's supposed to operate, and it's hard on the equipment. So what we've done is we've replaced some of those frontline trucks with the Amsoil hydraulic fluid, and it has obviously improve the workability of the compacting systems of the truck. The one thing that I would mention is that you would want to check the hoses and the fittings and whatnot so they are able to be more guaranteed that they don't blow, because the cost of the product is expensive, and you want to make sure that the system that you have it in is contained with new equipment.
Now, our dealers are always concerned about having the proper knowledge, the background, and the credibility to come in and talk to somebody like you, a decision maker who can pull the trigger and actually decide to use our product. And I guess the important thing that they can get from this is, you know, what's the best way to approach, and what are some of the things that they should know about coming in before they actually have this interview with you?
Yeah. Well, I would say that the first thing is a small business, I'm sure that they're worried about cost. And one of the benefits of the Amsoil product is that we are able to see a savings in a lot of different areas. One is the actual cost of the oil product. There is a savings. And then the maintenance time that our maintenance person spends on doing the actual oil changes versus other things, and because he does other tasks, whether it's welding containers or, you know, working on trucks or whatever. So his time is freed up to do other things as opposed to just consistent oil changes. And then again, as I was mentioning earlier, if an oil change is missed, the oil doesn't break down like some of the other oils because the wear and tear, and as a result, the wear and tear is not as severe on the engine.
Do you think it's important that you would have problems and issues, and maybe you're not satisfied with your current product, for an Amsoil dealer to come in and have success? Or if they approach it the right way and demonstrate the cost over time versus the upfront price of a product, that you would definitely be willing to listen to them?
Yeah, I think that is the key, is the cost over time. I mean, it's simple math that one product may be more than another, but if you look at what you are actually going to spend over, and based on the size of the company, I can tell you with for example, with a slight digression here, with a larger fleet in my past history, we had a 40 truck fleet that we actually were able to show a reduction in a head count because the frequency of oil changes were reduced to such an extent that they did not need that extra person. So there is an advantage there, and that's a maintenance thing. And obviously the expenses associated to maintenance and employees, which could be, you know, anything from work comp and labor, just labor and tax expenses. So there is a savings directly there, but you may also see, again, the product, the actual oil expense, and you will see it reduced because you're buying less product over the period of time, even though the cost may seem a little higher.
The relationship between vendor and company. Obviously, I would think that Nordic Waste and Amsoil have a good relationship, developed a good relationship. How important is the communication process? Just constantly keeping you up to speed on anything new, and just maybe just checking in from time to time to see if everything that you want that you're receiving.
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, there's a fine balance there, obviously, but we're in the garbage business, and we focus our time on all the things associated to collecting garbage and recycling. And we have become more knowledgeable just with the relationship that we've had with Amsoil, simply by just being informed on what's going on and even some of the technicalities associated to the testing. And it's allowed us to become more comprehensive in our understanding. So as any consumer, the more educated the consumer is, the more benefit I think that we have in buying the proper products.
Well, Chuck, we want to thank you for your business, and on behalf of Amsoil, we hope that you are receiving the kind of customer service from us that you would expect.
Well, we have, and we're very pleased with the partnership that we've developed over the time that we've been working with Amsoil. So thank you.